Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to learn a few things about how to describe food when we speak. In particular, I want to talk to you a little bit about the ways we can describe how food smells, the way that we can use words to describe the aromas of food. So let's begin. What I want to do first is give you the words, show you the different kinds of terms we use to describe smells. I want to give you a few pointers about how we'll apply those. And then I'm going to get you into groups of 2 and one group of 3 because we have an odd number in the class. And I'd like you to choose 2 from a list I'm going to provide, and each of you get up and describe. So the first one is peppermint. And I think most people know what peppermint is like. It's fresh, spicy, green, things like thyme or cardamom or pepper, or peppermint candy for that matter, or toothpaste. These are all things that work for that. Another one is floral, things that smell reminiscent of flowers. So think of smells like jasmine, lavender, honeysuckle, roses, bergamot, licorice. These are all things that have a floral aroma. The third one, musky. Okay, so let's explain what musky means. Musky refers to that warm, hearty smell that you get off things like wood or spices like cinnamon or nutmeg or leather. Pungent is strong and it's spicy. So think of things like onions or peppers or garlic. If you've ever taken a garlic clove and crushed it and brought it right up to your nose, that is a very pungent smell. So anything like those. Ethereal. Ethereal is a term we don't use too often with food. It's sort of a sharp chemical smell. It's not common in food, although alcohol, things like vodka or gin, that's an ethereal smell. Then camphoraceous. Now don't worry, I know it's an unfamiliar word, but I just want you to know what it means. You won't be tested on the spelling. Camphoraceous, it refers to things that have a smell like tea tree oil, bay leaves, Vicks, everyone's familiar? Vicks VapoRub you put on your chest, that is a camphoraceous smell. And then finally, and with one exception, one we don't usually see in food, putrid. Putrid is normally a very bad smell. It refers to the sulfurous aromas you'll get off things like rotten eggs or spoiled meat. Or durian. This is a durian. What does a durian smell like? Well, they don't allow them on buses in India, so you can imagine they smell pretty rank. A durian, according to one writer, smells like onions, rotting meat, stinky cheese, gasoline, and turpentine garnished with an old sock. Doesn't sound very good to me. I don't want it on the bus either, but that's how you describe something. That's an example of what we're talking about here. So, what do we have so far? I've given you some basic building blocks for putting these things together. What we do with these, we combine specific aromatic references. We put them together. If you want, you can also include descriptions of things like the flavor of a food, the texture of a food. Although we are concentrating on aroma, bring those in if you think they're relevant. And most importantly, make comparisons. Ask yourself that basic question, what does it smell like? To what would you compare that aroma? That's our question. So, this is the part where I want everyone to get into groups. Again, groups of 2, in the corner, 1 group of 3. Got an odd number here, it's okay. Get into those groups, and here's what I want you to work on. Here's the list. I want everyone to pick 2 of these. 2 will be enough. And given what we've talked about here, I want you to come up with a description of 2 of these. So, once again, they are dark roasted coffee beans, chipotle peppers, those smoked peppers you get crushed between your fingers because that brings out the smell. Lemons, hot lemons, lemons when you heat them up because that intensifies the aroma. And what about beef cooked over a wood fire? So beef could be steak, could be hamburger over a wood fire. Describe both the smell of that meat and the smell of the fire. And what does Thanksgiving turkey smell like? How would you describe that smell? What does it smell like when we cook bacon or a hot apple pie or chai? That spiced tea you get. It's got a bunch of different spices in it. What does that smell like? All right, that's what I'd like you to do. So everyone is in their groups. Good. In 10 minutes, let's hear this. Okay, begin.